Tonight on Lowdown, we go to the open mic night here in the Union and visit with another great professor.
We'll also go to a rad self-defense course and talk to a couple prospective students from Choose Red Day.
All this and more right now on Lowdown. Hello, welcome back to Lowdown, a show by the students of the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg. I'm Rick Fahler.
And I'm Rajanae Hill. Thanks for joining us this evening as we continue to dive into all the cool things happening here at UCM.
And speaking of, the Union's holding open mic nights every Tuesday right behind us in Cafe Rouge, and we got to sit down with one of the regular performers.
And we also visited the marketing department to talk to Scott Smith, a professor here on campus, about the student group Enactus.
Student Union is now holding open mic nights every Tuesday night, so I stopped by and talked to Becky Hartman to learn more about the weekly event.
So every Tuesday at 7 o'clock we're having open mic and karaoke at Cafe Rouge. It's just a way for students to get their abilities out there to have some fun.
A new regular at the open mic nights is Jake Ratton, a soldier at Whiteman Air Force Base.
Last week was actually our first time having open mic, and he had emailed me having seen our poster about it in the Union. He's actually a soldier at Whiteman Air Force Base, so he emailed me and asked me if he could come play his guitar, and of course I said yes, because I'm always willing to have people come perform. And he came last week, played most of the time, and he's been playing most of the time tonight as well.
Jake saw a poster advertising the open mic night and decided to come to the UCM campus and give it a shot.
Here I'm just kind of hanging out. There's open mic nights on Tuesday nights. I saw a poster and decided to show up and give it a shot. So this is my second week doing it, and definitely love it. Seem to have a really solid group of people here who come and check it out, so it's always fun. It's been a while since I've played like shows, so I want to try to get involved around the town instead of being stuck on base doing nothing, so here I am. I started playing the guitar about 13 years ago. I played it because just thought it was cool. I had a friend who played it, or his older brother played, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. So I was like, man, I really got to try to do this. So I had a lot of free time in high school, so I just bought a guitar and started figuring it out by ear and just, figured it out. So I just kind of started with a song that I really liked, and just went from there. I looked up YouTube, just how to play it, just real simple. And then after that, I started transposing other songs into that song, just same chords and everything, and progressed, and further my knowledge as to how to finger placements and all that fun stuff.
Jake plans to attend more open mic nights and play more shows around the area.
I would like to definitely start playing more around the area, getting shows and everything. But open mic nights are so much fun just because the atmosphere, everybody's super chill. You meet a lot of really cool people who sing all different kinds of music, and that's what it's all about. It's the community of it.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Ben Van Maley.
Dr. Scott Smith has his PhD from the University of Arkansas with a focus in consumer behavior. But like many college students when starting out, he wasn't so sure about his career path.
I started out as an engineering major, and I was in my second calculus class and third chemistry class, and realized that I was not enjoying it as much as I wanted to. I was doing okay, but just not enjoying it. And so I started kind of dabbling around in some other areas, and really ran into this issue of I didn't know what to do, so I took a business class. It was a marketing class, and all of a sudden all the pieces fit, and I said, wow, this is great. I love marketing.
After becoming an educator, Dr. Smith has found his passion in the classroom. His students are quick to confirm that fact.
I'm really passionate about the classroom specifically, but I also like the research component too. It's really kind of a win-win for me. First of all, I get to interact with students each day, and I think we have some great students here. And so I really enjoy that aspect and kind of getting to shed some light on the marketing world for that.
Scott sets himself apart in a number of different ways. First off, just the way he connects with students. He makes, obviously marketing is a fun major, but he takes maybe the dry areas and he makes it exciting.
He's got that nice like guidance, kind of like that hand of guidance while I'm going through it. I don't even think of him as, you know, like a professor while I'm in there, but at the same time I know that he's the person I'm going to look to with any advice that I need.
Dr. Smith works with many student organizations, one of which is focused on service projects around local communities.
You know, we have a great opportunity in the community, not only in the Kansas City community, but here locally in the Warrensburg community to do some great service stuff. So one of the student organizations that I work with is called Enactus. It's formerly called SIFE, Students in Free Enterprise. They underwent a name change, and they're now called Enactus. Basically focusing on entrepreneurial actions that affect all of us. And so really what they're looking for are service projects that are not only just helping others, but also teaching others so that they can help themselves.
What a cool way for business students to do entrepreneurial action and help the community. I mean, come on, I don't know another organization that can say they do that.
I think one of the biggest things that you can get out of it is just the fact that while we may know, you know, we might know business, we might be people who have, you know, learned the things in a classroom, to actually be able to apply it and to actually see someone who's passionate about it and cares about what we're doing, it just kind of translates it over more into the real world. You feel like that, you know, what you're doing actually matters and that we are making a difference and that, you know, each of us can really have a big impact.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Bryce Jones.
So if you're looking to showcase your talent under the bright lights, come on over to Cafe Rouge.
And it's great to see all the cool things Enactus is doing in the community. Now let's talk about Choose Red Day, an event held to bring in prospective students and show them the wonders of UCM.
And staying on the topic of prospective students, we'll stop by Warrensburg High School, where President Ambrose visited to announce a new partnership. Take a look.
Every year, graduating high school seniors start preparing for their future. Multiple times a year, the University of Central Missouri hosts their event, Choose Red Day. This event gives high schoolers and their parents a chance to tour the UCM campus, along with tasting food in the dining halls and meeting professors who would be teaching their future majors.
This day is held, we have several of these held each semester, and it's for any prospective students, so students in high school or students looking to transfer to the university. So as part of this visit day, students have the opportunity to hear from admissions. They also take a campus tour, meet with their major that they're interested in. We have some breakout sessions. They have lunch on campus. So really it's an all-inclusive prospective visit day for students to come and check out UCM.
The entire day lasts from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. with lots of activities in between.
So in the morning, students register and we have a browsing fair with different departments here across campus that students are able to go and meet and get information from. And then we have a welcome session that is facilitated by one of our admission representatives and a student panel that talks about involvement, success before coming to college and then after college, and then as well as talking about like the admission process. Students then go on a campus tour, have lunch. They'll be hearing soon from financial aid about financing their education. Then they'll be meeting with their academic department, some different departmental breakout sessions. So we have like athletics, fraternities and sororities, housing, honors college that students can attend.
Along with the tour, there was a Financing Your Future presentation. This showcased the different scholarships UCM offers, as well as the deadlines to apply for financial aid. High school senior Taylor Hannikin attended the presentation, as well as the campus tours. So far, she liked what she saw.
I would really like to go to UCM. They just have so much to offer, and it just seems it's like so broad, and there's so many. It just seems like there's so many people to meet here, and it just seems like a really fun place. Like they have like so many places to eat. They have bowling alley, and then all the education is just amazing, like all the degrees they have to offer. I have done the graphic design tour, and I really would like to go into that, like the multimedia field. It just seems like really cool, and they have a lot to offer, like looking at the art hall and like the labs, and the professor was like really nice. Or education, I'd like to go into that field too.
For Lowdown, I'm Natalie DiTilio.
On February 9th, in a ceremony held at Warrensburg High School, University of Central Missouri and Warrensburg R6 school district leaders announced a new partnership to provide students a guided path, the innovation track, to a high school diploma and potential to complete a 4-year college degree within 3 years after high school graduation.
It's a day that we've been looking forward to as we've planned a lot of work from Warrensburg High School as well as UCM to think about the pathways that students take between high school and college. And when you're a high school like Warrensburg in a community that has a university like University of Central Missouri, there's a lot of creativity that can be asserted by students to graduate early or take courses that they otherwise may not consider. And so the innovation track takes those creative pathways that students have been using for years and puts them in a way that can be utilized by more students more easily. And if we think about the objectives of the Missouri Innovation Campus to lower the cost of a degree, accelerate the time it takes to finish that degree, to alleviate the skills gap so you're workforce ready with your degree, and most importantly, to reduce the reliance on student loan debt to pay for college, then the innovation track gives this freshman class an opportunity to consider to enroll in college as sophomores in high school. And there's no better place to prepare for college than in a university community.
Scott Patrick, superintendent of the Warrensburg R6 School District, applauds the benefits of accelerated four-year degrees and the opportunity to lessen the burden of college debt on students and their families.
We are very blessed as a school district and fortunate to have a very long-standing relationship with the University of Central Missouri that predates everyone in this room. For many years, our organizations have collaborated and provided an exemplary example model for a partnership of what a public school district and a university should look like. Today's announcement is further indication of the commitment from both our school district and UCM to provide our high school students with greater access to university course offerings through an expanded dual credit program.
Students who want to know more about the innovation track are encouraged to visit with their high school counselor and contact UCM's dual credit office at dualcredit@ucmo.edu. Also visit ucmo.edu/innovation track. Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Adrian Columbus.
What a great opportunity for the students of Warrensburg High School.
Let's switch gears now and talk about a couple of events that were held here on campus the past couple of weeks, like the RAD self-defense course I recently attended.
That's right. We also got the chance to go to the Dear White People showing for Unity Week, and the second part of the three-part film series, Feeling War, that the digital journalism program is putting on.
Rape has always been an issue on college campuses. Here, at the University of Central Missouri, programs like RAD are doing their part to lower the statistics.
RAD is a self-defense program. Its acronym is RAD, which stands for Rape, Aggression, Defense, which ultimately means resisting aggression with defense.
RAD is a set course wanting to provide women with knowledge and confidence to fight off potential aggressors.
So, the RAD program is a set program. We have a curriculum that we go off of. We can't deviate from that curriculum, so we can't change what we teach. We can adapt it to the students if somebody has a disability.
We start out with a lot of risk awareness, risk avoidance. We try to give them pointers and safety tips, how to keep themselves out of situations before we actually have to use any of the physical aspects that we teach them during the course.
Sergeant Scott Lewis goes on to talk about how he sees women's growth throughout the duration of this course.
They come in and you can tell that they're timid, they're very unsure of themselves. After they go through the program, you can just tell that they now know they have options in how to protect themselves. They don't have to be scared, that they know that they can actually hit somebody, they can actually kick somebody if they really need to.
Being scared was all too real for UCM freshman Isabel Aris, who experienced a stalker herself once before.
It made me feel very nervous. I was working 3 jobs and they knew everywhere I worked, where I lived. I didn't really know how to deal with it. I was a lot younger than I am now, so I didn't really contact anybody, and I was kind of just hoping it would stop instead of actually doing something about it. Luckily, in that situation, it did stop, but you hear about other situations that people aren't so lucky. So,
well, it's better to have something than nothing. This is a 12-hour course. It's not a full-on martial arts course that you're going to take for your entire life. But these are skills and moves that are easy enough for you to do in an emergency situation or any type of situation that may happen.
With Lowdown, I'm Ranjanae Hill. Dear White People was an event held by Spotlight during Unity Week that allowed students to come out and watch a movie that touched on diversity.
Shortly following was a discussion of the film, as well as their comments on diversity.
So tonight, it's the opening night of Unity Week, which is an annual event that we've had this is the 4th year that it's been going on. And we decided instead of having a speaker this year, we were going to show Dear White People and have a discussion with it. I think the biggest thing that we can do is spread awareness. And it's difficult sometimes when you have the folks who need to see these sorts of things or take part in these sorts of discussions aren't willing to. For various reasons, such as being uncomfortable, not thinking that there is a problem, not willing to admit that they're part of the problem, whatever the case may be. We can't make strides until at least the majority of campus is on the same page about these different issues.
There were many views on this issue, such as stereotypes and how the members of the panel felt about UCM specifically.
We touched on white privilege. We touched on how black people view white people, how white people view black people, and also different stigmas and different stereotypes that black people have or have put against them. There's not really a race problem, I would say, at UCM, but there is a lack of diversity problem at UCM.
Ashley goes on to say how the majority group can better relate to the minority students and gives advice to better bridge the gap.
So the first thing is for them to identify their privilege, and they need to recognize that there's an issue. And I think once they recognize there's an issue, they should take action.
Diversity is definitely an issue for everyone, and though it will take time, Brianna shows she won't stop until everyone is on the same level.
I think that the notion that diversity is everyone's problem or everyone's issue to handle is accurate, but at the same time, UCM is not at the level yet where it can be an everyone issue, because not everyone's on the same level of understanding what diversity is or what some of those issues facing the minority groups, not just racial minorities, but females, transgender students, other LGBT students. It all goes back to understanding privilege, power, and oppression.
I'm Brianna Blocker reporting for Lowdown.
UCM's digital journalism program hosted a 3-part film series entitled Feeling War, Experiencing International Reality, which highlighted international war and crises through the perspective of photojournalists and videographers. The second installment of the series was on February 11th with a screening called War Photographer. We caught up with graduate student and event coordinator Hannah Bray to talk about the film's turnout.
The turnout today was much better. We had a lot more people because we took a different angle in promoting. We went to classrooms this time and we talked to the teachers and students about the film so that it was a more one-on-one approach to promoting the films.
Between railway tracks.
While the movie was raw, heartfelt, and captivating, nothing could bring a crowd much like the sound of extra credit.
I came because it was a extra credit opportunity. But it was a pretty good movie.
For many of the students in attendance, this movie was the inspiration to push themselves even harder within their chosen fields.
What I took away from this movie is basically the drive that you want to have when you're working. And seeing this and seeing how committed he was to his craft is really inspirational to myself. I know that, I don't want to give up a family or anything like that, but I definitely know just even having a piece of what he had would definitely be good.
From an academic point of view, graduate student Hannah Bray tells us what she hopes every student got from watching the film.
I hope that they took away the fact that we're all human beings in this world, no matter where we live or what's going on. So it sort of put people out of their daily lives to see a new perspective on other countries and their tragedies and their struggles.
Leading up to the Show Me Justice Film Festival, Hannah lets us know what is to come.
The next film, the last one, is called Frame by Frame, and it's March 29th at 3:30 in the Union 229.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Adrienne Columbus.
Hey there, kids. What is Tim trying now? It looks like Tim is trying to clean his shoe by just using water and his thumb. Oh, Tim, you knucklehead. What Tim should do is use that conveniently placed tube of toothpaste right behind him to clean his shoes. All he has to do is apply the toothpaste to his finger, rub it into his shoe, wipe it off with a wet rag, and abracadabra, his shoe is clean. Just look at that before and after. Tune in next time to see what Tim will do wrong next.
For our last two stories this evening, we're going to the Highlander Theatre to showcase the great performers here on campus.
The Department of Theater and Dance is putting on The Little Foxes, and we got a backstage pass to the cast and crew.
And to stay on the main stage, we'll take a look back to October when the theater was transformed to the Windy City of Chicago.
The Department of Theater and Dance at the University of Central Missouri has concluded yet another successful show. Cast members Connor Bosworth and Jessica Baxter give us a summary and insight to The Little Foxes.
The Little Foxes takes place in the early 1900s South. We are a family that are wanting to bring a cotton mill to our town so that we can make a lot of money.
My character Regina and then Ben and Oscar are my brothers, and we're all fighting over money the whole time.
It's a wonderful play that many people should experience at least once, just because it tells a wonderful story.
Everyone in the cast and crew worked their hardest to overcome many obstacles, including a change in director.
We were all kind of nervous because Doc J was our original director, and then with her getting sick, so we basically lost about 2 weeks of rehearsal time.
The accent was a little more difficult because you didn't want to go too Southern hick. You would have to work on just proper diction, but also you want to make sure that you're understood. So you'd have to enunciate all of your words.
Despite these challenges, everyone managed to pull it together collectively as a unit and get the job done.
The caliber of the acting that comes from my peers and the way that we were able to connect and be so supportive of each other. There was never anybody tearing anybody down or judging anybody. We were always learning from one another and supporting one another.
7 of the main characters are all related. So we're all having to act like we're this giant family. And that's just a lot of fun because it's getting the cast close together and we just build off it.
Bringing people together through the fine arts is what UCM's theater department is all about.
The UCM theater department is just a fantastic department. We have tons of opportunities for all students, and we always offer a very rich and fun theater experience for the audience.
There are a lot of opportunities here. If you take advantage of them, if you go audition for studios, if you go audition for black boxes, if you go audition for even staged readings, there are so many opportunities.
We have what you need to make theater, which is people who are passionate about what they do. Theater's what we all want to do, and we want to share that gift with everyone.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Rick Fahler.
On October 7th through the 11th, the Department of Theater and Dance, along with the Department of Music, presented the hit musical Chicago in the Highlander Theatre.
The focus is on 2 main characters, Velma Kelly and Roxy Hart. They are competing for limelight in vaudeville, and they both are in jail for committing murder. And so it goes through the trial of Roxy Hart and Velma, and they become friends and end up in a duo act together by the end of the show.
Velma is a current inmate. She is a prisoner for murdering her husband, and she is one of the 2 murderesses that lead the show. And her position in the show is she's kind of on top of the mountain in the prison and in the media. In 1920 Chicago at this time, a lot of criminals were becoming really famous for being criminals, and she was kind of the head honcho until Roxy Hart comes in, and then she begins to lose her spotlight. A lot of preparation comes from the text. A lot of clues about who Velma is in how she speaks and the songs that she sings, and even stage directions, what the playwright writes in on the sides that aren't supposed to be said but are to kind of inform the action of the musical. That says a lot, as well as costumes dictate quite a bit. I know every night when I put on my wig, something is a little different, and it's automatically a little more Velma-y than it was before, just because when you see yourself looking so different, it's hard not to fall into the character.
We collaborate with the Department of Music on our fall musical. So the music directors, the director and myself got together and discussed what we'd like to do. Chicago's always been one of my favorite musicals, and since I've come to UCM, it's been one that I wanted to do, to have the challenge of recreating the Fosse choreography and giving the students the opportunity to learn that style.
I love performing. It's too much fun to be called work. It's so exciting to be able to put so much work into something and then be able to share that with an audience and to make them escape their everyday lives for a little while and come into the theater and just take a load off and relax and watch a musical.
With your lowdown on the performing arts, this is Shane Suter.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. But don't fear, the show in its entirety and the individual segments can be found on our KMOS TV YouTube page.
Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Ron Janae Hill.
And I'm Rick Failer.
Good night.